Hello, everybody. I'm Alan Levine from Open Education Global. I'm coming to you from my garden. Why am I doing this? Well, I'm really here to give you a guided tour of the new features of the Open Education Awards for Excellence site. But we're using this metaphor of gardening. And I'm here in my vegetable garden here in central Canada. And we've got some good things going. There's some potatoes and vines, etc. But I'm not here to talk about my garden, but what the metaphor is and why we're using it this year. So gardening involves, you have to plant things, of course, but you don't just put seeds in the ground and walk away and hope they grow. No, there's watering, and here there's lots of weeding to be done. You have to take care of the garden. So let's go inside to the garden shop and give you a sense about how it's going to work this year, and hope we can entice you to be part of this year's activities of generating recognition, not just awards, but recognizing and making everybody's work visible. Hello, and here we are in the garden shop. Yes, the site for the OEAwards for Excellence. You can definitely come in here and explore everything that you need to know, but just wanted to give a general walkthrough about what we're doing here this year, and also more about this theme that you'll see more often of seeds and planting, etc. And look, we already have 22 nominations in. We're definitely looking for more, a lot more. First, just want to remind you that this is the 15th year. You can get a lot of ideas to see here in the what we call the Hall of Fame, which is really our collection of awards going back. You can explore by different years, see who won in 2029. You can explore by country and in categories, etc. So a great way to get some ideas to see who or what has been recognized in previous years. So the first area that we send you to is to think about what we call the Category Explorer. And it changed from last year. Last year we asked you to put your award, assign it into 16 different categories. And that seemed a lot to choose from. So we actually simplified it quite a bit, but we give you a lot more flexibility that you'll see. So the basic categories are individual awards, those are the people, and then open asset awards, the things we share, OERs, repositories, the things that we do share that we build and create. And then practices, how we share, which can be anything such as open pedagogy, open research, open science, diversity, equity, inclusion. And so those are the way that you decide where you're going to put your award. But we'll show you and see the form quite more up close. I want to refer you to the nomination guide, which again has a lot of information, and most of it I'm going to be covering here in the show. So we have sort of a walkthrough exploration, and some of it includes looking at past awards, looking at the stories of impact. But if you're here already, you probably have an idea that you want to award someone. So really, it's about deciding who or what you want to nominate. And then further down this form, you'll find an overview of the kind of information we ask for. Now, we also make available a editable copy of a template version of the form. And this is really probably the best way to sort of develop or draft your nomination. So all the fields here, and this is available as a Google Doc or a Word document or an open document file, help you prepare all the information so when you come to the web form, you know how to fill out your nomination. But let's go right to that nomination form. So here we are on the nomination form. And so obviously the first thing is asking some information, recognizing that names aren't as simple as first name, last name. Put your full name, however is appropriate. But we do ask that you put how you wish to be greeted. So when we write you a message like confirming your nomination, or when we contact a nominee, we want to address you by your first name. So please put your first name, obviously your email, who you're affiliated with, and absolutely, you probably want to sign up for the OE Global newsletter if you don't get it already. But that's the information about you, the nominator. So here we are in the nomination. So obviously, if it's a person, it's going to be the name of the person you're nominating for an individual award. If it's a project or a program, the name of the award as you wish it to appear. Which category it is, so it might be open assets. When you come here, now this is where before we had 4 or 5 choices of different awards under open assets. And so in previous years, we've included what some of the ones were, remix, tools, but here's where it gets special. So we give you the option almost to name your award. So if it's not anything that appears on the list, perhaps the type of asset is an open data set. And this becomes eventually the award that will be given. So it'll be an open asset award for open data set. So this lets you actually tailor the award to be more specific than in years past. And also, we streamlined, if you've done this before, some of the nomination form details. So the first thing is the top reason to give this award. Think of it as like the headline. This is what reviewers are going to see first. This is what's going to be used when we share and announce your award. You have the top reason this nomination deserves to be recognized with an Open Education Award for Excellence. You have 500 characters to fit in the box here. I do want to remember, as I'm going along here, that you should notice on the OEAwards website is that we have at the bottom here, you have the choice of changing the website to work in a different language. And we really encourage, if you prefer and you are going to be able to express yourself more clear in Spanish, to switch to the Spanish mode, and then you can be able to write it in a more appropriate manner. We will make sure it's reviewed by someone who speaks Spanish, or we will apply a translation to it so our reviewers can fully understand. So you've given the top reason, and give this one some thought. This is the headliner. This is the grab again. Then we give you a little bit more room to give a general description. So just give an overview. What is really important to understand this resource, project, or person, or their bio. And then this is also new. We're asking for how this nomination really aligns with the principles and goals of open education that we have as part of OE Global. And there's a link to see more information about what these are. So when you make a nomination, you want to make it clear how it supports the idea about access, everyone having to access, or that it's built like a community building tool. And then also these goals. So this is a chance for you to really be specific and help the reviewers understand what is it about this nomination that is both excellent and sort of fits the realm of open education. Web links. We give you 3 fields. So the first one, we only have one that's required. The most important one to find information about it. Where can a reviewer and the public go to learn about the project or the person? We give you 2 more links you can add. You can use anything you want. We do encourage you, if you want to include a video testimony, publish it online, put the link there. And then this is about contact information, other details that we want about the nominee. So you've already indicated who you are as the nominator, but you want to make sure if it's an individual person, obviously the name of the person who is, but if it's also Bob Educator, and again, same principle format. Names come in all varieties. Many cultures, last names are first names are last. People have multiple names. Use your full name of the individual or the contact, but how they should be interested. And Bob really likes going by Bobby. The email address, of course, what their affiliation, their organization that they're associated with. Again, we encourage as well nominations that represent multiple institutions. So if a nominee or a project is from a series of institutions, list them all here, separated by commas. Enter the city and location of where the project or nominee is from. This is, again, so we can chart it, show the global extent of the awards. Again, if it's a multiple project, we allow you to list other countries that are represented in the project. We do ask for a social media contact, and we're going to ask for one. We know you have many, so the one that's most important for a person or a project. And again, whether that's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or even X or Mastodon, whatever the most important primary social media link is. And this is optional. A few questions that we ask just for categorizing and understanding the awards. So we're looking this year to make sure that we're noting nominees that represent an underrepresented region of the world outside of Canada, the United States, and Europe, as well as a project or a person that is from a historically marginalized group. You know how to interpret that. Projects that are in languages other than English. We want to know this information. And whether the nominee or the project is associated with OE Global institutional member or an individual member of OE Global. This has no bearing on how your nominations are reviewed. This is just so we can get some data about the nominations. And then something new that we've added. So if you're like, you might nominate your own project, and this is certainly fine. But you know, one of the greatest gifts that you can do is to nominate something else, to give it some recognition, because they won't realize that they're being nominated for an award. And they'll get this wonderful surprise later around sometime in late July that they've been nominated for an Open Education Award for Excellence. So, and we give you the opportunity here that says, when Bob gets this nomination, you can say, like, I want him to know that it came from me, Pat, just so he knows who nominated him. But it's not really, you can be anonymous, or you can indicate whether you nominated yourself, because obviously you know that. Also, recognizing that many people use generative AI, we don't put any rules or restrictions on this, but we ask you to describe how you used it, just to make it clear. And also it helps us get a gauge on the way people around the world are using generative AI. This information will all be shared. And then you submit your nomination. So what happens after that? You'll get an email that confirms your nomination went in. Nominations are open now through July 21st. There's plenty of time to get a nomination in, or several. And then at that time, the nominations close. We need a little bit of time to organize them and prepare them. They will be sent to our committee, which is made up of former award winners. So OE Global itself has no stake. We have no role in reviewing and rating the awards. This is all done by a committee of peers. This will take place between early August and September 12th. And then after that, in mid to late September, we'll be announcing, as years before, what we call the short list of finalists, which are like the multiple people, maybe about 20 in each category, that have been sort of nominated and risen above the rest. And then the finalists will be announced in mid-October. Also, what's new this year is after you submit your nominations and they close on July 21st, we will be sending to every nominated person or project both a confirmation of what happens, but also we're going to be sharing a certificate and a digital badge, which you can you actually can just use to share with your colleagues, with your university, with your organization, that you have been nominated for this award. So a little bit measure of recognition. And we just hope that you keep in mind that it's really the purpose. Yeah, it's great to win. It's nice to win. It's wonderful to win. You can hear it from our winners. But it's more important that we're able to collect and share everything that has been nominated. And you're going to see a lot more visibility for all nominations than we've done before, because this makes the work not only visible to the world, it allows other people to understand and know more about the wonderful work that you're doing. So be part of recognition, be part of spreading it, encourage your colleagues, and encourage your friends, encourage your parents to nominate you, okay? We're going to see all kind of seeds planted and many things grow in that garden.